Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Wisty, and I'm the director of Michigan Interfaith Power and Light. Thanks for inviting me to give a guest sermon today. So, with the NFL draft here in Detroit this weekend, it got me thinking about what it means to get drafted. Now, my knowledge of football is rudimentary, but I understand that there are some very hopeful, young, talented football players out there who have been working very hard and really want to get picked by professional teams. And there's a lot of excitement and ritual surrounding that process. And for those of us who are just trying to go about our business, there's a lot of traffic and crowds that we now have to contend with. So my organization, Michigan IPL, as you might know, works on climate, clean energy, and engaging people of faith and conscience as leaders in the movement for climate justice. And I'm often thinking about how to build our team. Who do we want to draft into this movement that we're building to win a livable future? There are a few differences between the climate movement and a professional sports team. So we don't have tons of money to attract our talent. We can't drive our recruits around in Escalades and take them to lavish steak dinners or buy them fancy tennis shoes. And obviously, there are no multi-million-dollar contracts or sponsorships for climate advocates. One thing I can say, though, those of us working in climate action get many fewer concussions than football players. So that is a sweet bonus that I think we should be talking about more. But like the people in charge of a sports team, I, as a professional in this line of work, do have some qualities I'm looking for in the people I hope to recruit for our movement. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So the first quality, imagination. You're all aware of the urgent need to live more sustainably, and that doing so as a society isn't going to happen just by swapping out our single-use plastic bags for canvas tote bags, or even trading our gas-powered cars for electric ones, although these are positive and necessary steps. But it's about reimagining on a deeper level our patterns of consumption, mobility, and energy generation. It's about creating a new social blueprint, and that's no straightforward task. The science fiction writer Ursula Le Guin said, and she was talking to a room of writers, she said, "I think hard times are coming when we will be wanting the voices of writers who can see alternatives to how we live now, can see through our fear-stricken society and its obsessive technologies to other ways of being, and even imagine real grounds for hope. We'll need writers, and I'm saying by extension, we'll need members of our movement who can remember freedom, poets, visionaries, realists of a larger reality." So imagination, having the capacity to imagine new ways of being and doing. The second quality I'm looking for, being a prophetic voice. Sometimes as advocates for climate justice, we're out there supporting or opposing legislation, but we also have to be willing to push our lawmakers and the conversation beyond what's politically feasible in this moment. And this is a really present thought during this election year, right? Many of the barriers that we face in the struggle for climate justice aren't technical, but they are political. In his book, Electrify, an optimist's playbook for our clean energy future, engineer and MacArthur Genius grantee Saul Griffith writes this: "I tell people what is politically necessary, and they tell me about political barriers." He continues, "Policymakers have to change what they believe is possible in the current political and economic climate. If what is politically possible is the extent of their ambition, everyone is doomed." Now, he's not saying we are doomed, full stop. He is a self-identified optimist after all. So I want to repeat that last part. If this is the if what is politically possible is the extent of our policymakers' ambition, everyone is doomed. In other words, the policy solutions that are politically possible in this moment will not get us where we need to go. And I believe it's up to us, by being prophetic voices, to help our lawmakers rise to that level of ambition. Maybe that's through things like lobbying and relationship building with decision makers. Maybe that's through nonviolent direct action or other forms of disruption. Maybe you are waving a revolutionary flag, or maybe you are washing the dishes. All of that is on the table. I believe all of it will be needed, and you get to find your lane. The third quality I'm looking for: active hope. That is, hope as a practice. So I am part of a book group that's now reading the book Active Hope: How to Face the Mess We're In with Unexpected Resilience and Creative Power by Joanna Macy, who is a Buddhist eco-philosopher and a systems theorist. If you haven't read it, I really recommend it. For Macy, this idea of active hope, it's different from optimism. If optimism is the belief that things will get better. And it's different from passive hope, which is about waiting for something external to bring about the change we desire. Sometimes those of us working on climate action, we see people who want to defer to the experts, right? Who surely know what they're doing and have it handled. But I don't believe that is the moment that we're in. So active hope, Joanna Macy writes, is about becoming active participants in bringing about what we hope for. Active hope is a practice, like Tai Chi or gardening. We can apply it even in areas where we feel hopeless. The guiding impetus, and she sounds like a real Buddhist here, right? The guiding impetus is intention. Rather than weighing our chances and proceeding only when we feel hopeful, we focus on our intention and let it be our guide. So, active hope, choosing to manifest hope through action, even when we don't feel hopeful or optimistic or even clear about what will happen. This is a practice, a muscle to engage and exercise. And the fourth and last quality that I'm looking for in the people that we are trying to draft into the climate movement is having a we mentality. This is what I mean by that. So a lot of us have asked ourselves the question, what can I do about climate change? And as Bill McKibben has argued, that's almost, but not quite the right question. A better question is, what can we do? The action we are especially called to do in this moment is collective. The most important thing you can do, McKibben writes, is join with your neighbors and organize. The second most important thing you can do is join with your neighbors and organize. And then I'm paraphrasing here, and if you still have time after that, by all means, convert your old light bulbs to energy efficient LEDs. I know that the folks at Central, as a justice seeking church, understand this. Working as a part of we is about building power. And by power, I don't mean power over or domination or zero-sum winning and losing. I mean power with, working collectively and interdependently to bring about the changes we want and need and deserve. And finding our we is also about connection, community, and the social support we need to sustain us, because this work is hard, it's challenging, right? So to recap, we're drafting folks for the climate movement. And these are the 4 qualities I'm looking for in my draft picks: imagination, being a prophetic voice, practicing active hope, having a we mentality. And I also know that you individually and collectively bring so many more gifts that we also need. You might be reflecting on these qualities and perceiving that you have room to grow, and that's okay. Growth is the point. I will close by sharing a little bit about an experience I've been having in the past year. So I got a new doctor last year. Some of the unexpected gifts of middle age I've been receiving in the last couple of years include high cholesterol out of nowhere, worse blood sugar control, less ability to tolerate stress, just a goodie bag of things. It's felt a bit like my body's operating system got updated overnight without my consent, and now the settings are all different, and I'm left to figure it out. So, this new doctor of mine is helping me with that stuff. And our early appointments were a little rough. She was asking for a lot of changes. I knew she was going to advise me to exercise. Now, I'm pretty well able to eat a whole foods diet. She wanted me to give up gluten. Okay, I can do it. I don't love it, but I can do it. But the exercising part has been a real growth area for me. And what I wanted her to say when she was telling me I needed to exercise and move my body, what I wanted her to say was, get your steps in, do some yoga, wear some cute leggings, and listen to spa music. But that is not what she said. She said, what you need to focus on is building muscle, lift heavy weights, which is like the last form of exercise that I would ever want to do, and something I've never done. And I feel overwhelmed by even approaching. And also, by the way, my partner has been suggesting to me for years that I join him in his strength training practice. So I also had to experience the indignity of telling him he was right all along. So, I joined a gym and they have some classes that include weightlifting, and I'm finding my way with it. And it feels good. It feels doable. And I didn't have to figure it all out alone. And all of this is to say, if you're feeling like, whoa, I just wanted to learn that one weird trick to save the planet, I don't know how to do this other stuff. I just want to say, I hear you and it's okay. And I've been there too. Another difference between the climate movement and the NFL draft is this. I'm going to let you in on it. We're not only looking for people who are at the very top of their early careers and in peak physical form. We're kind of willing to work with anyone who shares our vision, who is invested in healing our broken relationships with Earth and with our neighbors. We're kind of willing to work with anyone. Anne Lamott wrote, I do not understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are and it does not leave us where we found it. I hope that Michigan IPL can work with our supporters in the climate movement this way, meeting you where you are, but not leaving you there. Thanks so much for letting me be with you today, and I hope we get to talk and get to know one another sometime soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.